We will build a stronger country by building stronger families. Families are the building blocks of society, of a nation. By turning to faith, we will be the kind of nation, the kind of people God intends us to be.
I am Kanye West, and I approve this message.
So hello everyone, once again from the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Thanks so much for everyone who gave me messages for my birthday last week, especially in the community tab. I know I haven't replied to many of them, I've just been super busy recently. But today we're also talking about the opposite of socialism. We are talking about Nazis, and we're talking about Nazis in relation to Kanye West and his new presidential campaign. Remember, he already ran for president before. We're going to talk about that a bit later. But now apparently he's going to run for president again. And this ties up so nicely to my video last week, because remember, I made a video about Milo Yiannopoulos. Apparently he's also now Kanye West's 2024 campaign manager. Like, how weird. I wish this news came out last week. But now there are also rumours, which we're going to delve into, because I don't know if they're true, that Kanye West might have also met Nick Fuentes as well, like probably the most famous American fascist, has a massive audience. And of course, what all these people have in common, Milo, Kanye West, and Nick Fuentes, is that they are kind of like these America firsters, Donald Trump supporters. Although with Kanye West, it's very hard to pin down his actual like policy ideas, apart from the fact that he's a massive anti-Semite. And that's why he's attracted so many people like Nick Fuentes lately, and that's probably why Milo Yiannopoulos is involved in his campaign in the first place. So we are going to talk about all of this stuff today, and just talk about how Kanye West is really just embracing this role as probably America's most visible anti-Semite at the moment. And also, you know, him coming back on Twitter, writing shalom, and Elon Musk liking it. That is very, very weird. Probably Kanye West trolling Jewish people after all the shit he said. All of that coming up. Please like the video, and in the comments, I'd be interested. Do you know people who still support Kanye West? Because I was talking with someone who was saying they still saw people they follow liking Kanye West's posts, and I actually went and had a look, and one person I follow was also doing that, so obviously quickly unfollowed them. But let me know in the comments, do you see anyone defending Kanye West in your own life? Also follow me on social media at the Kavernacle on Twitter and also on Instagram. Instagram is where I'm posting about my travels around Asia, and that's all saved in the highlight reel. And if you care even more about that, I'm posting one video per country, and it's just me and my girlfriend talking about my travels, and that is exclusive to my Patreon page. I'm trying to build up as many $1 to $3 patrons as possible, and the benefits of which are getting access to those videos, and also my Nintendo Switch friend code and the private patrons Discord server. Also check out the subreddit and check out my second channel down in the description. So obviously I don't need to go over the Kanye West thing in detail. You guys will know it all by now. He said that thing about going DEFCON 3 on the Jews. Ben has given like loads of interviews to various podcast channels and stuff, like Lex Fridman, thinking he can have a civil conversation to change Kanye West's mind. And then he said more anti-Semitic stuff about Jewish people. Came back to Twitter saying shalom, and you know, loads of people liking it and stuff like that. But then, of course, the news broke earlier this week that he will probably be running for president, and who is his presidential campaign manager? Well, it's probably Milo Yiannopoulos, who we spoke about last week. Milo Yiannopoulos rose to fame just through pretty much being an internet troll and obviously like working at Breitbart. He was also on like primetime news shows sometimes as well. Had stuff with Bill Maher, went on Joe Rogan multiple times as well. People seem to like him despite his horrible politics, because he was flamboyant and he was like fairly outrageous to people, and then it all came crashing down. Then he advocated basically for pedophilia in some form, and it didn't really seem like he was joking. And then of course he just went from controversy to controversy. Remember, he tried to lead that like straight pride parade, and then as we left him at the end of 2021, he was actually working for a Catholic organization saying he was ex-gay, and then pathetically selling Virgin Mary statues.
And we've got today 3 items, all in celebration, reverence, of course, of the Blessed Mother, the Virgin Mary. We're going to start with this wonderful statue, which we both own.
He made a big comeback because he started interning with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then Tim Pool randomly had him on his podcast last week, where he had a very, very weird voice.
DeSantis is almost as popular as Trump in some bits of Florida. But don't ask them to choose, because he is gone the second they have to choose between him and Trump. Don't get it twisted, okay? He has no chance.
And then I basically speculated, I don't think this is the end of Milo, because it seems like he's making a bit of a comeback. Seemingly is having a bit of a resurgence. Maybe he'll have an even bigger resurgence. What do you know? Now he's walking around with Kanye West. Oh yeah, and if it wasn't obvious, Milo Yiannopoulos has horrible politics, but he also just seems like jumping on any controversy, even if he doesn't care about it, to boost his own profile, because straight pride was one, Gamergate was another, and now Kanye West is another, despite him firmly being still, as he explained on Tim Pool's podcast, a massive simp for Donald Trump. If he loves Donald Trump so much, why is he running someone else's presidential campaign? So Kanye West says he's running for president, working on campaign with Milo Yiannopoulos. The controversial rapper, formerly known as Kanye West, said he's working on the campaign with far-right commentator Milo Yiannopoulos, according to a video published Sunday by the celebrity gossip website X17.
Come to the office. This is Milo right here.
How you doing,
Working
Milo?
on the campaign.
Oh, right on.
Is that an announcement? I guess it is. Thanks. I accept. Sorry, it's all good. So boom, right here, we got the Balenciaga right here. But it's the Ye 24 merch. As a species, we need to update together. Everything's been so divisive. Think about when they say diversity. People look at that like it's a good thing, but we're the United States of America. We're a universe. We're a university. We're a republic.
Obviously, clearly Milo there in the video, and then Kanye West just showing off his new Ye 24 merch and just talking a bunch of nonsense, because whenever I hear this guy talk, it's literally like incomprehensible, and it seems like a guy who just surrounds himself with yes men. Now he has Milo Yiannopoulos to be another one who just tell him what he wants to hear and lets him do these things, and he has enough money to fund it, so, you know, who's going to really stop him? And now seemingly he's finding a new fan base, people who hate Jewish people, which is more ironic considering that Milo Yiannopoulos is both Jewish, but also has said so much anti-Semitic stuff. So let's get into that quickly to see why Kanye West might have hired him in the first place. So Kanye West's campaign worker, Milo Yiannopoulos, anti-Semitic controversy. Yiannopoulos has also faced allegations of anti-Semitism, helping to land him on watch lists from groups like the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center. The SPLC blasted Yiannopoulos in 2018, explaining that the former Breitbart editor often appeared to sympathize with racist and prejudiced thinking. Yiannopoulos' mother is Jewish, but he was raised Catholic. Still, he appeared to provide fodder for anti-Semitic trolls in one 2016 interview while discussing a spike in online hate speech. Most of the generation Trump, the alt-right people, the people who like me, they're not anti-Semites. They don't care about Jews, he said per forward. He continued, they may have some prejudice about Jews, like the Jews run everything. Well, we do. The Jews run all the banks. Well, we do. The Jews run the media. Well, we do. You know they're right about all that stuff. Just to make a little point, Milo Yiannopoulos likes to use himself as a gay Jewish man to give cover to people who really say terrible things about both groups and hate both groups. And he basically says, well, if I say that's not offensive, then I speak for like all gay men and all Jewish people, then it's not offensive and you can say that. So that's why he's saying like the Jews run everything. Yeah, because the Jews do run everything. Those people are right. So he's actually trying to give credibility as a Jewish man to anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Going on a bit further to more anti-Semitism on his part. So Milo Yiannopoulos tried to troll Jewish journalists with Nazi symbols. Yiannopoulos bragged on Instagram and Facebook that he'd sent $14.88 to journalist Talia Lavin, who just resigned from the New Yorker magazine. The number 1488 is a combination of digits used by white supremacists and Nazis, 14 to represent the infamous 14 words, a mantra about securing a future for white children, and 88 to represent Hail Hitler. So Levin had become a target on the right. Earlier in that week, the New Yorker fact checker erroneously speculated on Twitter that an employee for Federal Immigration and Customs Enforcement had been photographed sporting a tattoo of a Nazi iron cross on his elbow. The tattoo, his agency later explained, was a Titan II, symbol of the Marines platoon which he served in Afghanistan. I wouldn't fault Levin too much there. It seems like it's pretty close. Levin deleted her tweet and apologized to the employee, but her error became fodder for an array of conservative and far-right figures. The error was splashed across conservative media, and Levin was targeted by anti-Semitic trolls. After she resigned, she posted a PayPal link saying, "Sending money to a fat unemployed Jew is an excellent way to piss off Nazis." Yiannopoulos took the bait, sending her $14.88 a short time later. So just like how Kanye West often uses his blackness as an excuse to say just like terrible things about everyone, including Jewish people, even saying that, you know, he cannot be anti-Semitic because he's actually a Jew himself and black people are the real Jews, or saying stuff like, you know, African slavery was a choice for African Americans and stuff like that. Milo Yiannopoulos is the same. Like I was saying, he uses his position as a Jewish gay man to give cover to Nazis, even trolling another Jewish person with coded Nazi numbers after she is facing a massive dogpile from loads of neo-Nazis. I mean, as much of a troll as Milo is, and is someone who clearly does stuff for attention, it's also pretty clear he is like deeply racist. And something that I firmly believe about him is that he actually is very religious and he hates himself for it. So if you watch a lot of the stuff to do with him coming out as like ex-gay, a lot of the stuff he talks about seems like it's coming from a sincere place of self-loathing, even though I don't believe he actually is ex-gay. I feel that could be quite similar with him actually being a Jew as well. So Milo Yiannopoulos, as both a far-right troll, a grifter, and as someone who's espoused a lot of anti-Semitism, not surprising that he would be working on Kanye West's presidential campaign when he's literally been tripling down on his own anti-Semitic views, but also, of course, his anti-Semitism has garnered him more attention from actual Nazis in America. And then I saw this going around. There was a rumor that Kanye West had actually met Nick Fuentes. And let's get into that now, because a lot of people were saying it's true, like they definitely met. Nick Fuentes is also working on Kanye West's 2024 campaign with Milo Yiannopoulos. I mean, Milo Yiannopoulos has a close relationship with like Nazis like Richard Spencer in the past, so that probably wouldn't be surprising that he might still have connections with people like Nick Fuentes, but let's get into the rumors quick. So basically this picture was making the rounds and it said, just then, Nick Fuentes spotted with Ye in his Beverly Hills studio. Ye announced in the interview that he plans to run for president in 2024. But the problem with this picture is, although it does kind of look like Nick Fuentes, you really can't tell. And I don't know if it's the lighting, but maybe the hair looks a bit too dark for me. But I don't know, maybe it could be him. I definitely don't take that as confirmation it was him. But then Nick Fuentes, obviously there's a lot of trolling done in his own community and stuff like that. So he was really playing into this. So he posted a picture of like an animated version of him shaking hands with Kanye West as well, the two most banned in the USA. And then he apparently posted a picture of like an emoji, someone walking in the background. Apparently this has been debunked, but then Sneeko, who I don't know much about apart from his friends of Destiny, like did he meet Nick Fuentes? Then Destiny was weirdly getting lunch with one of America's biggest Nazis. But Sneeko was also saying that Nick had texted him something and people were thinking it was about this Kanye West stuff.
Chat, Nick just texted me right now and I can't, oh my God, the shit that's gonna come on stream soon. Can I get some W's? I can't tell you, but Nick just texted me the dopest shit of all time. I can't tell you yet, but let's go. Give me some, just trust me. Give me some W's right now. Trust me, big things coming. You didn't get it right in the chat, but there's a lot of good things coming. Anybody who believes in truth, who believes in the America First movement, the soldiers of God are coming back, bro. Trust me. Big things coming. The Groypers are going to be very, very happy. Everybody on Cozy, everybody on Rumble, you're going to be very happy.
So at this point, we really don't know if Nick Fuentes was there. I would say that Nick Fuentes might be even too extreme for Kanye West. Not that they wouldn't find a lot to agree on when discussing the Jews. It's not as though, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who had Milo Yiannopoulos as an intern, has any problems with Nick Fuentes either. The one thing I would say is Milo Yiannopoulos has been like higher profile before while saying all this terrible shit. So maybe in some way he's more acceptable, where Nick Fuentes primarily just makes his living being like a crazy Holocaust denier and like neo-Nazi online and stuff. So who knows if Kanye West wanted to, really, really tank his reputation. So there isn't even like any real plausible deniability of, at least with Milo, he could probably say, well, he was on Bill Maher, he was on all these shows. Like, you guys all did this. I'm just giving him another job. With Nick Fuentes, maybe that's going a bit too far. But it's not like Kanye West is making too many good decisions at the moment. And it's not as though he would necessarily disagree with a lot of what Nick Fuentes is also saying at the moment in regards to Jewish people. So if it came out that Nick Fuentes had actually met Kanye West after Milo Yiannopoulos became like his campaign manager, like I really, really wouldn't be surprised. And also it's not surprising that so many Nazis currently really, really like Kanye West because they believe he's saying stuff too many people in Hollywood, in the music world, are too afraid to say. And it's actually inspired a lot of neo-Nazis and a lot of anti-Semites to come out of the woodwork and say more terrible stuff about the Jews. So just the Media Matters article, far-right extremists celebrate, embrace, and defend Kanye West's anti-Semitic comments. InfoWars celebrated West multiple times on October 9th. Host Owen Schroyer said, I did not hear one thing Kanye West said that was bigoted. He later added that the backlash to his anti-Semitic remarks only proves what he was talking about was real. Nick Fuentes posted on Telegram, Kanye is going to be cancelled by the Jews for saying that the Jews invented cancel culture, and shared multiple memes celebrating the rapper. Fuentes also streamed West's music on his Cozy TV platform while wearing a West-inspired face covering. The title of the stream was DEFCON 3. Anti-Semite and Gab founder Andrew Torber posted how do we get Kanye on Gab. The Daily Stormer published a story by neo-Nazi founder Andrew Aglin with the headline, Lying Jew Media Claims Kanye West is mentally ill for going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. On October 10th, the header on the site's homepage read DEFCON 3 and featured multiple stories celebrating Kanye's anti-Semitism. Baked Alaska compared himself to Kanye West and wrote it keeps getting better and better under a screenshot of one of Kanye's Instagram posts. So yeah, this is Kanye West's new fan base. People who maybe never liked his music, only liked his politics with his support of Donald Trump and his comments about black people, and now his comments about the Jews. They are loving someone in public saying this stuff because their reach is limited to mainly people who already kind of believe what they believe. But with someone who is so influential, so famous, saying stuff that they would say, they love it because it helps normalize what he's saying and probably makes even more people say this stuff in the first place. And obviously what you saw with his comments, you get people on the conservative side downplaying it. Like Ben Shapiro, of course, Jewish himself, came out and said, what he said was anti-Semitic, but it's really nothing compared to Ilhan Omar criticizing Israel. Bill Maher had Netanyahu on his own TV show, talked about the Kanye West stuff for a tiny bit before saying that, yeah, Kanye West's comments are quite similar to Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib's when they talk about Israel, right? So this is the response to a lot of prominent people, conservative people, when Kanye West says very, very disturbing anti-Semitic things. They're like, well, we didn't say anything about Israel, so I guess it's not as bad as critics of Israel who never say anything racist against Jewish people. Now, just to discuss Kanye West in reference to anti-Semitism a tiny bit more, before we just talk about him running for president and talk about his last campaign, there's been a lot of allegations that Kanye West has actually praised Hitler in the past. And I briefly mentioned this in one of my videos, and people were like, well, what are you talking about? You're lying. And I just want to get into one of the things that has sparked these rumors, that he even wanted to title one of his albums like Hitler and stuff like that. So while we don't have like definitive proof, like a leaked audio recording, multiple people who worked for him saying that he'd praised the Nazis and Hitler, and then he says all this stuff about Jewish people as well, I think it's a good indication that this stuff is probably true. I know people are getting a bit funny in the comments saying, we can't 100% confirm, but I think it's a good indicator this guy is wildly anti-Semitic. And if we're talking about like Nick Fuentes, if Kanye West is praising Hitler and Nazis and saying all this stuff about Jewish people, and he meets someone like Nick Fuentes and they start talking about this stuff, do you think he's either gonna like or dislike Nick Fuentes? Yeah, Nick Fuentes also hates black people, but again, they see Kanye West as, this vessel for their anti-Semitism, and they don't care. Because Kanye West hating Jews for neo-Nazis at the moment, yeah, they love it because he's famous, because he's prominent, because he can help spread their anti-Semitism. but they'd rather him not be black, and they're not going to tolerate him for being black. They're never going to accept him. They just like him at this very moment. If Nick Fuentes does pop up on this presidential campaign, then I'm not going to be surprised based on Kanye West's grossly anti-Semitic comments right now and in the past. But also, we're talking about his presidential campaign, and he actually already ran for president, and it was a bit of a joke. But I found his old website, and I just wanted to talk about it, because I don't know if it would look like this anymore, but this is what he ran on, and here are some of his campaign videos as well. So let's get into the Kanye West 2020 campaign for president. So if you go on the website, it says support Kanye 2020 for president, and it has some dove. I'm not going to read all of this, but just going to flip through some of it like a poem. Dear future, I still believe in you, we still believe in you. Even in our darkest moments, we believe. We believe in a world at peace, we believe in our people, we believe in our families. We will see families anchoring our faith. Our future holds a better America. In our future, we will heal, hold everyone accountable to love. Doesn't seem very loving with his crazy anti-Semitism. And if you go into his presidential platform, you have stuff like this. 1, restore faith and revive a constitutional commitment to freedom of religion and the free exercise of one's faith, demonstrated by restoring prayer in the classroom, including spiritual foundations. Restore the sound national economy, reduce household debt and student loan debt. Every one of these things has a Bible quote underneath it as well. Maintain a strong national defense, fully prepared, but not so quick to tie up our country's young men and women in foreign quagmires that do not advance our national interest and which last for decades. And a lot of this stuff already, even that, is very compatible with the America First ideology. There's a couple of videos attached. One has children talking about the future. I'm not going to play that one. I'm going to play you this one of him just talking about running for president.
What is America's destiny? What is best for our nation, our people? What is just, true justice? We have to think about all these things together as a people. To contemplate our future, to live up to our dream, we must have vision. We as a people will revive our nation's commitment to faith, to what our Constitution calls the free exercise of religion, including, of course, prayer. Through prayer, faith can be restored. We as a people are called to a greater purpose than ourselves. We are not only a beacon to the world, but we should be servants to each other, to encourage each other, to help each other, to lift up each other, our fellow Americans, that we may all prosper together. We have to act on faith with the sure knowledge that we are pursuing the right goals and doing the right things. We will build a stronger country by building stronger families. Families are the building blocks of society, of a nation. By turning to faith, we will be the kind of nation, the kind of people God intends us to be.
I am Kanye West, and I approve this message.
Just a bunch of religious nonsense about his campaign, no substantive policies, pretty much pandering to the America First crowd with the stuff about, foreign quagmires and having strong defense at the same time. Talking about all this religious stuff, and the freedom of religion, which we all know in America, is a code word for using my religion as justification to discriminate against other people based on this fundamentalist reading of religion. But then, did Kanye West actually get any votes? It seems like he didn't even finish his campaign. And on election night, he actually just tweeted Kanye 2024. And then in some places, he got 1,000 votes and got 1% of the vote. And then apparently, according to Deadline, at least 60,000 Americans voted for West, who ran as an independent. His largest number of supporters were in Tennessee, where he nabbed 10,188 votes. Kanye West's first campaign for president didn't really seem to have any momentum, although he got 60,000 votes. I guess that's something, even though his whole campaign just seemed to be based on celebrity. It was pretty much a joke. He didn't tour the country giving speeches and stuff like that. Just seemed like a big ego trip, really. Now, is his new campaign going to be any different? Now, I will say, because of him pandering to American Nazis, maybe there will be some more fringe momentum for him. Of course, he's never going to be a serious candidate. And then also, when you're talking about the fringe, well, if it's Donald Trump versus Ron DeSantis, what more could these Nazis really want, to be honest? With Donald Trump, you had the absolute insanity, pandering to loads of racist conspiracy theories. With Ron DeSantis, you have the very visible action taken by him as governor of Florida to actually pander to fascists, push Florida more towards fascism with all these anti-LGBT laws, with all these anti-socialist laws, with all these anti-protest laws that he's enacting. Is there really any clamor among even the far right in America for someone else? I guess what they desire is someone to actually say the Jews are running everything and are bad. But even Donald Trump kind of says that. So again, I don't really see Kanye West having any more momentum. Maybe the racist anti-Semitism will galvanize it a tiny bit with America's hardcore racists. But again, Last campaign was pathetic and seemed full of nonsense. This one seems like it's full of nonsense as well. The only difference is he's recently said a load of anti-Semitic stuff, and it's come out that he might have also praised Hitler in the past as well. So, like I said, who knows at this point? Anyway, that is it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching.